Hi there, it's Wayne Tully here. I just thought I'd do a drawing while I talk about an important topic for a change. It's about just like leaving a legacy with your artwork. Now, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially with like certain projects or products I'm thinking about creating. And that'll do just that for me personally, whether it be anything from colouring books to a sketchbook or a graphic novel, which I'd very much like to work on and finish. But I think it's you gotta make the steps to try and get there. It's no good just trying to do it all overnight, and I think if you want like overnight success or something like that, then I think you'll be in for a bit of disappointment because I think it's like anything, you're in it for the long haul sort of thing. You've got the time, or at least hopefully if there's nothing seriously wrong, like any illnesses or anything like that, but obviously, I like to think that I've got time to create like a legacy, something to leave behind, like anyone does in any career path or something. But since this is an art sort of career legacy that you want to leave, I think you've got to think early on what type of things you want to leave behind, whether it's just lots of artwork or a book or anything. Now, since I'm drawing this type of artwork, I suppose this style of artwork is my legacy, really, what I really like to draw. So there'll be some sorts of subjects to do with horror and things like that I'd like to try and go into, whether that's my own book or a film, or I don't know. There's lots of possibilities and lots of things that I like to do, and like a legacy, it sort of ties into your bucket list, if you have one, if you've created one, what you want to do, what you want to get out of life. It ties into all that. So if you want to do artwork or write and draw your own stories or something like that, I think you've just got to make a start on it and not like expect to finish it by the end of the week or something, because it's these projects and your own sorts of things that you can think about take time. It's like a piece of artwork, it doesn't take it shouldn't take that too long, but then it shouldn't be too quick to create pieces of artwork. This one, I think it was only about 40 minutes, but it's still unfinished even at the end of this video. But it's got to a level where it can, I can maybe add some like grey tone to it or do something with it. I don't know. I'm not really into like digital sort of stuff. I like just to like draw on paper and things like that. Now, like little bits of editing or something, I'll probably do digital, but I'm not really interested in doing much of that really. Prefer just to draw stuff, create ideas, and just see what I can work out on the paper. But yeah, a legacy is important. So like everything you do, every drawing that you do is sort of like a step to that legacy, really. Every like professional piece of artwork you do is a stepping stone there. Really, you know, in a way it is, because you're creating something and it's little like avenues where people can find you. Certain people might be interested in your artwork and others won't be, but you know, who cares if people don't like your artwork? It's, you draw stuff for you, and if you didn't want to draw all the time, then you wouldn't be doing it. So yeah, just ignore all the haters, because they're usually knobheads anyway. So yeah, like these type of drawings that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to work on, I don't know if you've seen like a running theme in my artwork lately, where I do these black and white pieces of artwork. I want to do like some kind of death metal, horror ideas, where just black and white to start off with. I may do like some like grey tone type ones where it's just grey tone sort of pieces, but I'd like to build up a good amount of them, and some are good and some need more work. So, but that's like any piece of artwork in, you know, that you're creating. So yeah. Yeah, but I'd like to create like a book or something just to keep these in, and probably sell each original design separately or something like that. And then the book is just like a way to like catalog, you know, all my drawings of this kind. Just put it all in one sort of like a portfolio type thing, but like also like a book that other people can order or something. You know, that's just one sort of legacy idea. Another thing that I'm thinking about, well, I've thought about for quite some time, but I've just never got on with it. And that's another thing, you know, sometimes you think about these ideas and then you never get on with it, you know, you never do these things that you need to do, and that's not good. You're either thinking about it too much, like I am, just sat on the toilet just thinking. I do that a lot, and fall asleep sometimes, but you know, that's the way it goes. You know, but I always think about things too much, and then it wastes energy, I think, thinking too much. It does. You just, I don't know. I sort of watched a video. Well, I did watch a video, not sort of watch a video. You know, you can't watch something, you know, unless you're not paying attention. But yeah, and in that video there was explaining something about, I quite believe it actually, because when I've like procrastinated and thought too much about stuff, it uses up calories or something. I don't know how I ended up on this video, to be honest, but usually when you think about things too much, or you worry about things or something like that, at the end of it, like say if you've been like worrying all day or all afternoon or something, at the end of it you just feel exhausted, or you feel drained. So yeah, it seemed like an interesting video, but I don't know how I ended up on it, to be honest. You know, it's through YouTube, you click one video and then you're just away. You know, watching different videos. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to think about your legacy in a long sort of path. You're thinking about different things that can lead you to different areas. You know, like even researching stuff. How to print a book, or there's a lot of like print on demand sites and things like that, and you know, just research how you do that. That's one sort of action where you're gonna lead down that path. If you just create the book, you know, the contents of the book, you can't just, you know, do that without doing that. But yeah, I think it is a good idea to try and like list these things out and just plan. Sometimes things, you don't have to plan; they just sort of happen. It's like me doing these sketch cards lately. I'm doing quite a lot, and that's like another legacy in a way. You're just leaving little bits of artwork, mainly for the collectors and people who like that sort of thing. So you've got to hopefully try and make your artwork good enough just to have in someone's collection, or and then you've got your name, you've signed them, and little things like that. Just try and signpost to your work, that people might remember, or some of my sketch cards are crap though. Let's be honest. I do rush them sometimes, and so if you do get a crap sketch card out there by Wayne Tully, then I'm very sorry, and I'll draw you a new one. I'm going to get some personal ones which I can just like get my name printed on the back and things like that, so hopefully I'll have them, so anyone can sort of like request one at a small charge. I wouldn't charge too much for a sketch card, so it's yeah, there is that. So yeah, there is a couple of really crap sketch cards I've drawn out there, a few Star Wars ones, unfortunately, but I sort of learned my lesson early on, not I used to take too many, because you could have a limit where you can take 100, or you could get special permission to get over 100, but I never used to do that. I used to take about 100 or 80 or something like that, but now I just take the minimum, which is like about 30 or 35 or something, which is just about manageable, especially with places like Tops or other sorts of places. I'm doing some for, I don't think I can say that, no I can't. I'm doing some sketch cards which I'll announce at a later time, because I think it was I was supposed to keep it confidential, so yeah, but things like that, just like lead everyone to your artwork, even a YouTube video or a Facebook post with links or anything like that. It'll all be still out there that people can follow, or you got your social profiles and things like that nowadays, and business card and things like that. It always leads to more work and more ways for people to find you, which yeah, but that's when you're dead, like no one can, you don't know if everything online is going to stay there forever, but at least you can, I don't know, you can hope. But away from online stuff, is like if you do create a book, that'll be around for a long time, hopefully. But then you just gotta think, if the world doesn't blow up or aliens invade and incinerate anything. But I always think about that. But you just gotta hope that doesn't really happen, yeah. It's a bit. I always think about them things. Maybe because like that sort of frame of mind. I always think of things that could happen. But yeah. Awesome. Anyway, like these drawings, as I've said, I've been inspired by Mark Riddick. He's an artist that draws lots of skulls and things like that, and that's why I've been drawing these black and white sort of artworks. But I didn't really want to copy what he's doing. I like to try and work on my own type of style and things like that, and that's why I thought about introducing like grey tone stuff to this black and white stuff. Probably later on, just to see how it works. I've done little experiments here and there, and you know, things like that with, you know, drawing inks and stuff. So I think that's the best thing you can do. Just develop a style that's different from everyone else, or you know, and I think that's what I've done. If you look back on my older videos, they were a bit throwaway sort of videos, really, but it was a starting point, really. If I hadn't joined YouTube at that time, I don't think I would have done back in 2009. A fairly quiet person, you know, I don't have any friends, to be honest. Let's be honest. I did have a couple, but I've, you know, fell out with them, or not, you know, seen them since school, or you know, that type of thing. So it's just me, you know, my 2 kids, family, you know, just trying to do this drawing thing, trying to make a success of it. And yeah, it's quite hard, but then you gotta think life's quite hard. Trying to get noticed, or you know, online or in life, when you're not really competing against everyone else, really, because I don't know, your artwork, either people like it or they don't, but I don't know how to explain. It's you're doing your own journey, aren't you? You know, you don't have to listen to what other people say. Listen to the advice if it's useful. If it's not, just put it to one side, the back of your mind, and you know, or just write it down and do a big shit on it, big Mr. Whippy Turd on it, and just throw it away. So yeah, where was I? Can't remember. Yeah, I was getting thrown by that Mr. Whippy Turd comment. Yeah. So yeah, every drawing that you do is going to lead to a big part of your legacy. So you got to think about what projects you can take on. You know, some might just be like projects where you need the money. Like I'm doing these sketch cards, I need the money, so that's why I'm doing them. But then I'm also thinking ahead of time. You know, if more projects come later on down the line, then I can think, oh yeah, I'm doing these sketch cards now, but then there might be some other sets down the line that I can take on, which will mean a bit more money later on. And the stuff that you do could lead to other opportunities as well. So it's about planning ahead as well, and trying to think if what you're doing now is going to benefit you in the future, towards your own artist goals. I mean, you know, it's okay me saying like, oh, you know, you can do this or that, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do. For me, my artwork is more comic book type based. You know, people suggest to me all the time, I don't know if it's they're just trying to be helpful or things and that, and they just say, oh, your artwork, it looks really good, and I say, yeah, I suppose it does. And they say, you should be a tattooist. And I'm thinking, I don't want to tattoo people. You know, or they just come across my drawing and they say, did you draw that? I'm sat here with a pen. You know, sort of like daft sort of suggestions and questions, which, you know, are like a bit. I think every artist has had that, but yeah, I don't want to I can maybe draw tattoos, but I don't want to be an actual tattooist where, you know, you're inking people and, you know, it's, nah, don't want to be dealing with people most of the day, you know. So it's keep your suggestions to yourself. Yeah. So yeah, these type of drawings, they do take some amount of time, like anything. The black and white ones, I'm trying to work on a way of darkening everything and then adding the highlights, and then if I need to darken things again, then I'll just do that with pens and paint brushes and things like that, and just experimenting with it at the moment. Some drawings work and some drawings don't, and it's a bit irritating when they don't work, but I like these like type skull ones because they're easier to draw. And then in the case of them horns things that I'm drawing there, you can just whittle away and just change the lines and, you know, change the shape of things with dark pens and things, and that's the way I like to work. It's the best. I don't know. I could draw this stuff all day, and I do all day if I'm not thinking about crap floating about in my head. You know, if I didn't think about half that stuff in my head, I'd get on with that all day. But yeah. So yeah, this video, I won't edit it, even though it's got like loads of airs and, you know, oh, you know, that's another catchphrase I keep saying, you know, all the time. I can't be bothered to edit it all out, and it's too time consuming really. I just like to try and get the thoughts out and, you know, what I'm talking about, and hopefully you haven't fallen asleep. And if you have, I've got to sleep. Just sleep it off. Yeah. So a few other projects that I want to get done is, obviously I've mentioned a graphic novel. I want to get a lot of these sketch cards out of the way first. I did want to have a plan to do my graphic novel. I've got like a few ideas. I had an idea, a horror one, about this like a skull thing, like a horror type story. But then I just don't know which idea to work with first. But then I've got this epic sort of Akira type. I'm going to call it Akira type story, only because like I see it as like 6 big volumes of comic book pages in my head, that is. But it's nothing to do with any of the stuff in like Akira, even though that's really good. But well, there's a few elements, but sci-fi elements and things like that. But I'm trying to think more along that line. A massive chunk of story which would leave a legacy of being a creator as well, because I'll be coming up with a story as well. So it's just trying to work it all out in my head and on paper. But I'm sort of like wary of getting everything out there, you know, like any story or something on video or anything like that, because I don't want to give away any of the story, or I just want to try and work on, I don't know, the premise of it, or that maybe there's just the production of it on video, and then I can there'll be something to look back on. You know, I've seen other artists on YouTube do like the 100 days of comics or something like it's called 100 days, and they're doing like little production bits and here and there on the comic, and talking about a topic or just the comic as well. which I quite like the idea of doing something like that. But I'm working on a graphic novel, so because I think they're, for me, I prefer a graphic novel, because you've got a large chunk of story. It means more work for me to try and draw that and put it all together, because I'll be doing everything, self-publishing and everything like that, unless I decide to try and get a good publisher or something. But yeah, that's another thing that I'm thinking about. Even colouring books I've been thinking about for ages, but thinking about things and doing things are two different things, and that's what you've got to separate. It's okay thinking about them, but if you don't do them, it's a waste, I think. It becomes just a dream, and yeah, you don't end up getting on with stuff that you want to do. Then before you know it, I'm nearly 40. I'm 40 next year, and it's not old, it's not young, it's in between, obviously, and I'm under no sort of illusion that anything could happen, within that time. I'm hoping I have another 40 years left or more, but you never know what happens, or could happen. So I think you've got to think about the now and try and get on with your ideas. And yeah, that's the best thing you can do. That's what I'm going to do. So you'll probably see more videos related to the projects that I want to do and will be getting on with, and things like that. So yeah, this design that I'm drawing probably might end up being some kind of t-shirt design. I don't know. It needs more refining on it, more finishing off, things like that. A bit more paint on it, I think. Especially them white hairs that I'm drawing on the skull's beard. They need thinning out a bit more with black and other stuff, and just working out a bit more, and more drips and stuff. I feel like adding chains and everything to these drawings all the time, but they can't always have chains and like things like that, but I could do. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is trying to create a body of work that is complete, I think. Usually when I'm doing these YouTube videos, I sometimes do half-assed drawings where I think, oh, that's enough, I've gone as far as I can, and I don't see things through sometimes, and that is a sort of trait that I don't want to do anymore. I want to try and see things through and try and see these projects and products that I want to try and create. I do like print on demand sort of products on Zazzle and things like that, just to try and make a bit of extra money. A good few years ago, I used to make a sort of, I think it was the third income stream that I was doing, and it was quite profitable at the time. I used to get money each week, off and on, that had add up, and but I used to promote everything back then, and but now I don't really do that much. So yeah, I've got to market myself a bit more, and that's hard to do when you don't know much about business and things like that. Even though I've been like self-employed since 2011, it's I've been making dribs and drabs of income here and there. I'd say I earned more a few years ago, when, I don't know, the internet was back before 2009. It was around about at that time anyway. You used to throw links up, and then people used to follow them and buy stuff more but now people are more wary about doing that, and it's and obviously like Google, you gotta like pay to promote stuff now. You can't really, unless it's really good quality and people are like already like visiting your stuff and videos, then you know. But nowadays you've got to really work hard on creating videos and doing content and just building up your audience yourself, which is something that I need to do more of. More videos. If I can try and do regular videos, even if it's just like a vlog, and then some how-to type videos and how to draw and art tips and here and there, what I can, and then everything helps to promote what I'm doing, because I think the next step is having some products to sell, you know, whether that's artwork or books and things like that. You know, I think you got to work on your own stuff, create your own opportunities, because you can do that now more than ever, and you got to have that self-belief in yourself, which is something I haven't had for a while. I'm beginning to get there with little bits of work that I'm getting here and there. Some work that I got recently, it's I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, but little things like that is good projects that I can tell you about when the release sort of thing. So, and it leads to things, you know. Each opportunity just leads to things because of the things you're doing, you know, like videos, and people see drawings or pieces of artwork on Instagram, you know, work in progress type things, you know. It all does get found eventually, so you gotta promote yourself as well. That is important, and leaving a legacy is about just doing the work, really. You know, I found it hard to do, you know, the work, because I've had to, you know, do normal jobs and things like that I've hated. It hasn't been easy, but you know, because unfortunately we live in a world where you got to pay to live, and if you think about it, I don't know if aliens do that on other planets, but it'll be funny if they do as well. But I don't know. I'm just speculating. I always think about these things. I'm thinking, why do we have to pay rent and other shit? And you know, well, as the aliens do, they just I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going off on a little tangent there. Yeah, so these drawings I like to mix and match with like thick lines and just experiment, really. I go overboard sometimes, but you know, that's part of I like, lots of detail. I'm a fan of the Image Comics back in the day, from 1992 when it was, you know, first came out. I bought every comic book from them, and they was all about lots of detail and, you know, really dynamic artwork. It's like Todd McFarlane's artwork. I still do, you know, but he doesn't do that much artwork lately. Does bits here and there, like covers and inks and stuff. But yeah, I really like all their artwork. Really inspirational. And so if I can, you know, inspire anyone by just doing this, you know, videos, showing me doing my artwork before I've actually got my own products out or books out and things like that, then hopefully I've helped, and I've sort of like documented the process along the way, which is that's all you can do. You know, if it's like Gary Vee said, you know, if you document the process along the way and you put it on video, and you're doing like days and days of it, you know, and it's the process of drawing, I don't know, a book, or making a film, or creating some artwork, then people can look back on that when that product is out, or the project is being released, or stuff, and you can see behind the scenes of, you know, what you thought about creating it at the time and things like that, and that stuff is interesting to people. So it really is a good idea to do that, and that's something that I want to do more of. Takes a lot of willpower though. you gotta try and will yourself to make these videos, and do like loads of extra work that you think at the time won't, you know, get you anywhere, or things like that. But I think you've really got to set yourself up for doing this for the long haul, and just go with it. Because if you don't, then I think it's, I don't know, it's like time wasted or something. And I think I've already mentioned that. I think running out of things to say as usual. That's what I get when I don't plan this through, I don't script it or anything. Just try and think of what I'm saying off the top of my head whilst I'm drawing. This is the voiceover anyway, as you probably tell. I can't really draw and talk at the same time. I'm not really good multitasker. Yeah, so if you think about your legacy in terms of where you want to be in the future, just think about ways you can go in a direction to get there, because it's important. It's important for your own mental health, you know, because I'm sure you're just like, you're like me, just like, you think now and again, like if you're doing a crap job, or, you know, like working in McDonald's or something, and you don't want to be there, and you just think where you want to be, you know, 5, 10 years, 15 years in the future, 20 years, you know. It's important, you know, to think along them lines. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm nearing the end of this now. I can see the light. I can see the light. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers now.